there, Virgo. How are you guys doing? I really hope that this reading finds you well. Welcome to your mid-June 2019 reading. Back with me again, Anisa from the Inner Stereo. For those of you who are in my channel, hello. And for those of you who have been here a long time, welcome back. So as usual, this is going to be a relationship spread, meaning that you could always apply this with anyone in your life. It could be with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, exes, crushes, fiance, family members, anyone. I'm basically just going to be picking up your relationship energy in general, all right? And don't forget to also check your sun, moon, or Venus sign. You're very talkative. Because for me personally, I realize that with my readings, I resonate much more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign. Probably because my Venus in 7th house, I don't really know, but if it doesn't resonate, then it just doesn't resonate, all right? There's so many amazing, talented tarot readers out there for you to just click and watch. So let's talk about your overall energy for the now, Virgo. By the way, I'm really sorry for the camera positioning. I lost like a screw on my tripod so that I could not use it, so I'm now just using a shelf. But with this type of positioning, you cannot see the cards that pops out. So I'll probably get it fixed on July for your July reading. For more cards. But anyway, let's talk about your overall energy. You have the Princess of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Fool card in reverse. But at the center of your reading, you have the Star card. So I feel like in this month, mid-June to end of June, you're going to have like a lot of healing that is necessary for you. There is a letter or a communications or an offer that you were going to be giving it to somebody, but then you're like, nah, maybe nah. You know, Full card in reverse, maybe not. No, because you've calculated that there's much more cons against pros if you do that. What is the challenge of this relationship? You're very talkative, you know, with your challenges. You have the 8 of Wands, lack of communications, or the communication is non-existent. 5 of Wands in reverse, 2 people not willing to lower down their masculine energy. I mean, even in the now, you're dealing with a very masculine energy with the Emperor and also King of Wands. Could be a fire sign, but they're not willing to. So they're the type of person who assert their ideas, their principles. This is the way that I want to do it, and there's no turning back from it. And then they also have a 3 of Cups, so there could be a triangulations involved, or gossips, or you hearing them talking something about you behind your back and you didn't really like it. And then Tower card, you know, Tower card. So for some of you, you probably be dealing with the triangulations that just shock you to the core because you had that 10 of Swords there. And especially with the 3 of Cups, I usually see as a couple or people who are unable to act normal to one another because the friendship aspect of the relationship is gone due to this Tower moment. And then second, the last is the Princess of Chalices. The Princess of Chalices is somebody who highly idolizes somebody. You know, like a rock star. You're my rock star. You're my muse. You're the best, you know, that type of thing. But the thing about the Princess of Chalices, the downside to it is that they take things quite personally for themselves. So it could be you, like you could be idolizing them, you could be thinking so highly of them, and just a tiny little bit of things that they do, you take it personally. It could be them as well because it's the overall challenge, so the energy goes vice versa. But from what I can see here is that even in the past, this person is the Emperor. You're the Justice. So you felt the need to no longer allow or enable that Emperor energy. This is how I want to do things. This is how often I want to communicate with you. You know, I'm going to do things in my way. They're also very protective with their resources. They're also very protective with their feelings and stuff, because that's what, I mean, the Emperor in my other deck, which is the Jacques Zero, is being symbolized by the War card, which I feel like it highlights the need to protect. You know, the Emperor needs to protect their citizens. So this person came off really strongly. This is how I want to do stuff. You know, I want you to do this. Yeah, very masculine. If you want to be in a relationship with this person in the past and even in the now, you have to allow them to become the masculine figure and you guys becoming the feminine figure. Not that I'm suggesting, you know, you have free choices, but that's the only way that it could work. They feel like their idea of relationship, because they're like Emperor and Ten of Chalices, Their idea of collective happiness, their idea of how to run a relationship is the best way. The thing about Emperor, and I see this in Aries moon, you know, not Aries sun, but Aries moon, is people will see them as being selfish because of how strong they come to you. But the thing is that they don't really mean to be selfish, but it's just because they feel like they are so out there up front and they're expecting you to do the same. You know what I mean? And I feel like in the past and even in the now, if you were to just become somebody who communicates to them, nah, I don't feel like I fit into that. I feel like this is how we should do things better, you know? Why don't you just follow my lead? You know, look, I have a problem with you being, in Indonesia we call it seenaknya aja, meaning that with you doing things in your own way and how you like it, how about me and stuff like that, they're going to be listening to it because they're going to respect you more if you speak up and you became very, very upfront as much as they're upfront about themselves. For a few Virgos out there, I could also see that you're being kind of like quite heartbroken because they choose to be in a relationship with somebody else and you still have that unwavering devotions and loyalty for them. I mean, yeah. So in the now though, you cannot really stop thinking about them, but you have trust issues with them. This person, if you're only dealing with one person, they're going to kind of like come to you, again, with a very masculine type of energy. And they're going to be offering something to you. But you're skeptical about it. You're like, should I do it or should I not do it? You're kind of like quite skeptical. You don't want to repeat the same mistake that you did in the past. So let's see what the future card says. Okay, so if you're only dealing with one person, I feel like, you know, you're still skeptical in the now and you're just focusing so much on your healing. You're focusing so much about yourself. And I feel like even from the now on until the future, they're going to kind of like come forward in a very masculine manners and they're then trying to understand you better because you're like the Queen of Swords. So you're very, very logical. You know, you became very, very cold towards them, and then I would strongly advise you to open like a very, very transparent communications with them because they, even in the future, they have the Hangman, so they want to understand you. They are willing to see things in a different perspective in order to understand you because they're focusing much more on the Ten of Pentacles. Because in the past, you know, if you're not dealing with triangulations, because if you're dealing with triangulations, it's a totally different story. But if you were not dealing with triangulations, third-party situations, in the past, they felt like whatever they did, it was for the benefit of the relationship. And because they were very upfront with their emotions, they were expecting you to be upfront with your emotions. You know what I mean? And if you're not dealing with the third-party situations and if you're not dealing with the triangulations, that still applies in the future. So I would highly advise you to open a very transparent communications with them because they are willing to look things from your perspective, trying to understand you and focus much more on the Ten of Pentacles, which is much more beautiful than Ten of Cups. You know what I mean? You're going to be like a Temperance card, so you're going to be time, yeah, okay, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to observe how things goes and stuff like that. If you're dealing with the third-party situations, I would suggest you to forget about it, you know? So that was a situation that applies if you're not dealing with the triangulations. But if you were dealing with triangulations, I would suggest you to highly forget about that because the reason why I feel like this person is going to come back to you is because shit turned sour there. and they'll come back to you, but also at the same time they're still waiting around for the other person, although you have trust issues. But I wouldn't recommend you to go back to this person. All right, so how about if you're dealing with two people? So if you're only dealing with one person, your reading ends a few seconds ago. If you're dealing with two people, that your reading starts now. So you are dealing with somebody who, so person A is somebody who is like the Emperor, somebody who is very, very fiery. It could be a fire sign, but they're very, very upfront. They're very, very bold and stuff like that. And you are the Justice card. So you no longer want them to trample all over you. Okay. When they're like that, when you're trying to balance things out and we're still focusing on the Ten of Swords with this person, which is the sadness over this Emperor card, person B comes along and they're offering you with collectively happiness. They feel the pull to you. They feel a sense of familiarity with you, you know, but I feel like in the past you were kind of like still having unwavering devotions and loyalty toward person A. Therefore, you're not really focused on them. And person A is still there with the King of Wands attitude. And you can't stop thinking about them. Yeah, two swords in reverse. Person B who comes into you when you were sad and stuff like that, now they're starting to wonder, where do they stand in your life? You know what I mean? I feel like person A is going to offer you something here with the Ace of Wands, so they're either going to ask you to hang out or whatever, but then person B, the person who recently just entered your life, who fell the Ten of Cups, you know, they feel very, very happy with you. This person's starting to wonder where they stand in your life because you're being very, very cold with them, with the Queen of Swords. So the shit that person A put you through, you don't want it to be repeated this second time. So you're now very skeptical of the intention of person B. But I feel like person B is there for you because they have the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, they're good. You know, they wanted a collective happiness with you in the past. They want something good and tangible with you in the future. And you're going to be like the Temperance card. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go with the flow. Maybe this is the way, or maybe this is not the way. You're no longer giving attentions towards person A who hurts you and who trampled all over you. This person is waiting for another person. Either way, they're waiting on you and they're waiting on another person. So, but you're no longer wanting to give that attention. And I feel like you're going to give a person B a chance or a try. Okay. So that's a really, really long reading. I'm really sorry, but thank you so much for watching, guys. I think that's it for my reading, and I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.